Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about your highest calorie habit. And I think that this is really, there's two things we're going to talk about, kind of the strategies of how to change it, but more importantly, the concept of how to think about it, right? So always Program Yourself Thin is always mindset, strategy. And so we're going to start with the mindset first. And the reason we focus on your highest calorie habit, excuse me, is because it's an alternative to what you typically do when you try and lose weight, right? When you try and lose weight, typically what you do is you jump into some plan on a Monday perfectly. And you're not just trying to fix your highest calorie habit, you're trying to fix literally all of your habits all at once. You're trying to completely change all of your eating just like that. You're going to change all of it. And you're going to change all of it on that Monday and until you get the weight off. You're going to change all of your eating. That's what you're going to do. And you probably have thought about weight loss that way the entire time you've thought about weight loss. And so it doesn't occur to you that that's not a very good strategy. It's not a great strategy to try and change absolutely everything all at once. Why? Because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to try and change all of your habits all at once, to just change them. And so the alternative to that is that you start to be more strategic and you strategically start and focus on your highest calorie habit. Now, what is your highest calorie habit? Now, it doesn't have to be, you might have a couple that are right in the ballpark. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to specifically be the highest one, but whichever one you think is kind of, a lot of calories coming in and I want to change this. And if you could change that one, it would be a real kind of feather in your cap, a real nice foundation to kind of build on. And so you just pick one, right? What is it? Is it snacking at night, right? Well, again, when we talk about a habit, we're looking for something that shows up daily or multiple times a week, right? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for the snacking at night that happens 7 nights a week. We're looking for, the cookie in the afternoon that happens 5 days a week at work, right? We're looking for the repetitive, consistent source of a lot of calories coming into your body. And then what we're going to do, you're never going to believe this, we're going to focus on that habit. We're going to focus on that habit until we get a handle on it, until we either resolve it or we replace it with something better. And we get that new habit or that new way of being to run pretty much automatically, because that's what we're focusing on. That's the main goal. It's not just to lose weight as fast as possible, because we can't just look at losing weight as fast as possible. We got to take into account how it makes us feel. And so the fastest way to lose weight is just completely stop eating. But that's also the hardest and the shortest lasting one. So we've got to take those things into account. We can't just ignore how that diet or that weight loss approach makes us feel. And so that is why when we focus on your worst, and obviously your worst, but your highest calorie habit, it becomes something you can focus on. You're not trying to change everything all at once. You're trying to change one thing strategically, specifically. And if you really adopt this mindset, what it starts to look like over time is, I don't know, maybe it'll take you a couple weeks, maybe it'll take you a couple months, maybe it'll take a couple years, I don't know, to get a real handle on this habit. And again, to either resolve it or replace it with something better. But the idea is that once you've gotten to the solution, it's that it's running automatically, right? That you really figure it out, you really resolve it, you really replace it with something better. And now that new way of being just starts to run automatically. Now you move on to the next one. Same thing. You focus in on that like a laser. You learn about it, understand your triggers, your reactions, your routines, the reward you're looking for. You understand all this stuff, and then you move on to the next one, right? And so by the end of a couple months, by the end of a year, you now have 2, 3, 4 resolutions under you. Your 3, 4 worst highest calorie habits have been resolved, have been replaced, and you've sliced out a substantial portion of calories from your average calorie intake naturally, comfortably, in a way that's sustainable. I hope this makes sense. To me, it does. I mean, it's night and day. And if you want to do your diet thing, but I just want to offer you a counterpoint. And I'm not trying to stop you from doing your dieting. Go ahead and diet yourself. Do whatever you want. Okay. Diet all the way to whatever thing you want to do. But what I want you to do is remember my voice when you don't want to keep up the diet anymore. The day you say, oh, I cannot do this keto anymore. Oh God, I cannot wait till noon to eat again. Right. The second you get to that point and you stop, please remember my words and realize this is another option. Because again, the secret isn't when you're going all, right? When you're doing perfect with whatever plan you want to do, knock yourself out. Keep doing that. Okay. I'm talking to you about starting to notice when you stop doing everything perfectly, that you have no other option. Your weight loss approach is all or nothing. And we need to make it all or something. And so what I'm sharing with you, focusing on one habit, is the something version of it, right? So when you're not doing perfect, when everything's not absolutely dialed in, you're still working on yourself. You're still working on your weight. You're still working on improving your habits. And if you take this approach on, what happens is you cannot help but improve over time. It's literally impossible not to be able to improve. So give this some thought. And if you want some support with this, click the link in my bio, go to Program Yourself, then get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made, read the emails, all that stuff. So check it out. What's up, Jen? Jen says, hi, as of yesterday, I've been at my goal for 6 months. That's never happened before on any of the numerous times before I've lost weight. Thank you truly, Jim, for changing my world. Well, Jen, thank you. Screenshotty time. That's awesome, Jen. So proud of you, right? 6 months. That's what we're talking about. And again, what Jen would tell you, she's in the program, but what she would share with you is that she's been able to maintain it easily, comfortably, naturally. That's the secret. It's not enough to just lose weight. If you're white knuckling your weight loss, it's a good sign that it's not going to last very long, most likely, because it's very difficult to like white knuckle something. You burn out, So again, the secret, in my opinion, of not just getting your goal, but staying there is doing it in a way that is comfortable for you, doing it in a way that's built around your subconscious mind and your automated behaviors, your habits, your patterns, your routine nature. So super proud of you, Jen. That's a big deal. Right. So congratulations. And again, 6 months on your way to a year and beyond. So nice job. And you just keep refining it, and that's the key thing. Again, with Program Yourself, then we have an optimization phase, right? So we have an eating kind of calorie blueprint, but it's awareness, structure, optimization. And so, Jen's in a spot now where she'll be really optimizing forever. I'm optimizing forever. What's that mean? Does that mean always cutting calories? No, it means making the calories that you've cut more easy and more enjoyable. So that's the optimization. It's not always just cutting calories. It is always making it easier and more enjoyable how you're doing that. Logistics, planning, improving recipes, adding some spices, adding some variety, right? Really dialing what you truly like, and then making it easier. And so if you stay fixated on those things, you end up in a place where I'm at. You end up in a place where a lot of my clients get to, which is that you're at your goal weight and you're doing it in a way that's really easy, enjoyable, and comfortable for you. That's the goal. It's not enough just to white knuckle yourself to some weight loss, because that's short-term weight loss. And I'm assuming that you'd like to keep the weight off. I hope. Jen says, always trying for 1% better. On the topic, I'm working on my Starbucks habit. Right now, I'm in reduce with the eventual goal of remove. Jen, you are going to love, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for my OG clients to get all the new blueprints. I know I've been teasing them, but I don't give a shit. What do you want? I'm not trying to tease you, but it's just taking me a little bit longer to get it to where I want it to be, but it's moving in that direction. Some things about it move quickly. And now I realize, the eating part definitely was like hitting a wall, but I'm coming out on the other side of it. And I had a big breakthrough today with it. So we are closing in on that. But again, listen to what Jen's saying, right, folks? Just for those of you struggling with your weight loss, that she's always trying to get 1% better. And here's the key one. I'm working on my Starbucks habit. Right now, I'm in reduce with the eventual goal of remove. Like, there's so much packed into that statement. It makes my heart sing, right? Because first of all, she has a logical, grounded, calm, structured, strategic approach to dealing with things. She's not trying to change all her habits. Now she's dialing into the Starbucks one. And on top of that, she's not just trying to stop drinking Starbucks, right? Is that what you do, right? I'm going to stop drinking Starbucks. That's it. Cold turkey. Cold turkey. If it's cold turkey or nothing, all or nothing, right? No, she's got options. She's got reduce, replace, remove. She can look at it strategically, structurally. She has options available to her, depending on where she's at and which she feels are best. She has flexibility. Can you imagine? Right? So she doesn't have just one, I gotta stop drinking. Okay, no more Starbucks after tomorrow. Right? Good Lord. It's 2025, right? You got to evolve. Holy shit. If we're not still trying to lose weight like it's 1950. Good Lord. You dieters, wake the fuck up. Dieting as you know it, really started in like the 50s, 60s, and it's all marketing bullshit. So, anyways, Jen, you're a superstar. And I love what you said. I love it. Again, once you know, you all have never learned, you don't know how to change your habits. You dieters don't know how to change your habits. You know how to fight against your habits for a little while. You don't know how to change them long term. So what are you doing? You're always just fighting against yourself. Your whole weight loss process is just fighting against yourself. It's miserable. And it's very ineffective. Very low likelihood of success fighting against yourself. You have to work with yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to reprogram yourself so that you think differently, behave differently. That's how you change your weight. So, super job, Jen. You're a superstar. Yeah, and there's always room for improvement too. And that's actually a good thing. I know some people think like, oh, I always got to improve. I always got to optimize. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I always bring it up. One of my favorite examples in the world is, and by the way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. But I was talking yesterday, like one of my favorite examples to reference is really brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth really to me is like the golden habit that you've installed. And one of the cool things about brushing your teeth is think about how you think about brushing your teeth. There in your mind, there's no sense like you're going to get to a point you're going to stop brushing your teeth, right? Like when it comes to brushing your teeth, you have no timeline. Like you're going to brush your teeth till the last day on this planet, right? You're going to brush your teeth. That's just how you think about it. So I'm going to manage my weight. I'm going to be optimizing all this stuff literally till my last day on this planet. I'm always optimizing, always making it better because it's fun. It's fun to make it easier and more effective and more enjoyable, and I think this is part of the problem people have is there's no joy in their weight loss. There's no joy in it. It's miserable. And that's why you avoid doing it. That's why you probably think about losing weight all day and all night and never actually do anything to make it happen. Because deep down, you associate weight loss with misery. It's miserable. Right? And there's no joy in it. There's no joy in weight loss. But there can be. It can absolutely. I mean, losing weight and eating better, living healthier, thinking better, all of these things, you couldn't tell me something that's more pleasurable than that in life. I put it above even money. What else? What's better than feeling like your best self? What's better than just like thriving physically, mentally, emotionally? Just feeling nourished, being happy with your body, liking how you look, feeling good about yourself, proud of yourself, proud of how you live, proud of how you eat, proud of how you think, feeling in control, feeling powerful. You tell me what's better than that, because I literally don't know. But this does get to the heart of it, that again, deep down, if you're like, what are you talking about, Jim? Weight loss is the worst thing in the world. Why are you saying weight loss is joyful? No, it's not. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it. I hate losing weight. If that's what you're thinking, I mean, it couldn't be anywhere clear that it's a mindset issue. And it is, trust me. This is why you struggle with the weight loss, because it's really not about the diet plan. It's just not. Again, from on high, you could go see a nutritionist for the next 2 weeks and they could give you a customized, personalized meal plan specifically for you, that it's like literally right down to the calorie. You follow this, you're going to be at your goal weight. That's not going to help you lose weight. No, it's not. It'll help you a tiny bit. But the hard part is getting yourself to do it. The hard part's changing how you think about yourself and how you think about food, changing how you kind of live your life, changing how you eat. That's the hard part. Knowing what to eat and what not to eat is the easy part. That is not the reason you're overweight. And I use this example all the time, but if you were like a robot and you could program in what you're going to eat all day and then you would actually eat it, none of you would have problems with weight. You all know enough about what you should and shouldn't eat to lose most of the weight. I mean, you can always dial it in more, but you know enough right now. Your food nutrition knowledge really is not your main issue. And that's all diets are teaching you. They're just telling you different ways to eat. But the core problem, regardless of the diet, I was talking about this yesterday, that diets always have the same, they get the same pattern for people, right? So reflect this against your own life. In your life, no matter what diet you've tried, and I don't give a shit. It can be keto, paleo, Weight Watchers, low fat, low carb, vegan, vegetarian, carnivore. Doesn't matter. Pick your diet. And I know you've done a bunch of them. Okay. But every single diet you've done, regardless of which one it is, and there's been wildly different ones you've done. Okay. It's always the same experience that you started off 100%, right? You go into it Monday and you're just like locked in, doing it perfect. And then you get through a couple days. Now, this is the majority of time. You get through a couple days and you're like, okay, well, all right. And then the weekend comes, right? So you always start on Monday, and the best case scenario is you get through the 3-4 days. And now here comes the weekend. And that's when most people quit. They don't even make it past a week. Most people don't even make it past a week. So you get there and now the weekend comes. Okay, the first batch are scooped off. Doesn't matter the plan. Okay, you see what I'm saying? There's no plan that has a higher rate of getting you past that. Doesn't matter. Paleo, keto, carnivore, Weight Watchers, doesn't matter. Here comes the weekend. The first culling. Okay. So now you make it past the weekend though, and you're back on the Monday. Like, holy shit, I can't believe this. Oh my God. All right. Nice job. Now your chances of getting past the next weekend go up, but we'll still lose a couple more. Weekend after that, a couple more. But the next big one where we're going to lose a lot of people is the 1 month mark, because now you make it to a month and now you're so proud. You say, holy shit, I can't believe this. And now it's hard to keep going. And so now the next big culling comes. And now when we lose the second biggest number of people, doesn't matter what plan, they all follow the same pattern. You see? And so my point to you is that it's not the plan that's the main problem here. The main problem is your mindset and how you're approaching these plans. That's the core problem that you have. And it's the main reason you're not losing weight. And that is why the same pattern shows up regardless of the diet, is because they're never addressing this core issue. So program yourself thin, it's super easy to go past a week. Like, why? Because it's not that hard. The weekend, there's space to have some pleasure foods and not be perfect. So you're not approaching the weekend thinking, holy shit, I got to just keep this up. You have a little bit of variety coming. You have some food you enjoy with the expectation that when Monday comes, we dial it back in again. But there's some variety there. And we didn't make too many crazy changes in the beginning anyways. So now it's easy to get past a week, easy to get to 2 weeks, easy to get 3 weeks, easy to get to the first month, easy to get to the second month. Why? Because we're not making it that hard. And on top of that, you're learning how to think differently. You're learning to be more relaxed and calm, centered, grounded, so you can handle more. You can strategize better. And you're setting yourself up for longer term success. And that's how you stay on a plan longer. That's your core issue. You can't stay on a plan long enough to get the results. And you're never learning how to do it. Again, the weight loss industry it's always telling you what to do and never showing you how to get yourself to do it. And that is, again, just the core missing piece of your puzzle. D says, weekends are my downfall. How should I prep to prevent weekend overeating? D, you always ask the same question. How come it doesn't get more refined? I answer this every time, and I don't know why the question's not getting more refined. How should you prep? You need to ask more specific questions at this point. And every time you do this, you always put the weekends are my down. You always ask the question in a very problem-oriented way. So again, I'm not disagreeing that the weekends are your downfall right now. I wouldn't argue that. But I would want to frame it as, how can I stay more in control during the weekends? How can I eat more the way that I want to during the weekends? You've got to frame this in a solution-oriented way, right? You are stuck. You are stuck. Yeah, I tell you this, that you really ought to consider the coaching. I'll say that to you. But yeah, we want a solution-oriented way. How can I stay more in control on the weekend? Right. And then how should I prep to prevent weekend overeating? You already have the answer to that. You're asking the wrong questions. You're focused in the wrong way. I know for a fact, because it's already in there in what you're saying. So the way I would translate what you asked is, how can I become more on track during the weekends? How can I eat more in alignment with how I want to eat to get to my goal weight? And I think prepping is important. So what would be the best ways that I could prep for the weekend to go exactly the way that I want it to? So that I eat just the perfect amount of the foods that I want to eat. And you already know how to take into account pleasure foods, right? So you put that into it. How can I have my pleasure meal or meals exactly the way that I want to so I feel on track? And so you start to lift me up. Do you see what I mean? Like I'm saying exactly what you're saying, just on the other side of it. But that's the whole game, folks. If you ask problem-oriented questions, you train your brain to focus on the problems. If you ask solution-oriented questions, you train your brain to focus on the solutions. So I hope that you see the difference there, D. When I ask the solution-oriented question, it's almost forcing your brain to start thinking, oh yeah, right. I want to eat the way I want to eat on the weekends. What would that look like? Right. Oh, I wasn't able to do it last week. Yeah, who gives a shit? How do I want it to look? I'll eat this and I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll eat it calmly. I'll eat it comfortably. I'll enjoy the hell out of it and I'll stay in control and it'll be easy and natural for me. What do I need to do to prep to make that a reality? How do I make that happen? And then you get obsessed with those questions. You are obsessed with the problem in a nutshell. That's your first challenge, right? There's challenges beyond that too, unfortunately, but that's your first challenge, is that you are consistently looking at the problem of the weekend. You're constantly looking back and saying, weekends are where I screw up. I keep screwing up on the weekends. I'm always screwing up on the weekends. I can't get past the weekends. I always overeat on the weekends. You see? And every time you reflect back on that, reinforce that, it starts to become how you define yourself. It becomes how you define the weekends. So we have to take control of how we define what's coming up. And we can't just say, oh, here comes the weekends. I always overeat on the weekends, right? Because as soon as here comes, and I know what I do on the weekends, they're my downfall. I always overeat on them. You see, I'm setting up that reality. I'm literally, by the way, I mean, it's even like rehearsing it. So again, we need to get out in front of that and say, how can I eat exactly the way that I want to on the weekend? What is the ideal eating? And not just what I'm going to eat, but how do I want to feel doing it? So I want to eat, what do I want to eat? And how do I want to do it? I want it to be easy and natural. I want to enjoy it and I want it to be simple and comfortable. Does that mean the weekend's going to be like that? Of course not. But it starts the ball rolling of, how can I get my weekends dialed in so they're exactly what I want them to be? Now, again, everyone's got a different version of what that is, right? Everyone's got a different definition of what is the ideal weekend for me, and I don't know that for you, D. I couldn't sit here and tell you my weekend's my weekend, your weekend's yours, but you keep focusing and spending all your energy on the problem of it. So that'd be my big suggestion. What's up, Denise? How's it going? All right. Quiet group today. That's all right. Maybe we'll get out of here. Yeah. If anyone's got a question, feel free to ask them. If not, back to work. I almost didn't even get on here today. So glad I did, though. All right. Yeah. So if you're not in my world, make sure you click the link in my bio. Go get the free hypnosis session. Watch the video. Read the emails. I'll be sending out the purple looks good on me. Thanks. Yeah, my sweatshirts. I got a million sweatshirts. Yeah, I'll be sending out the goal weight quiz again this weekend. So if you're not on my email list, get on there, because again, it's a free goal weight quiz. That's really where all successful weight loss starts, is by identifying the right goal weight for yourself and understanding the reasons why it's so important. And once you got that, I think that's kind of the starting block, for having getting to your goal weight. So go click that. If you like this, I'm here Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And if you like listening to this and you missed the live, it's also a podcast that I put up there every night. So it's Program Yourself Thin. It's on all the podcast platforms. You can listen to it anytime you want. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, have a good weekend, Denise. Everyone else have a nice weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.